Good morning, third graders. Today we're going to be doing lesson 2 of our Eureka Math Module 3. Today you are going to need your fluency book, your learn book, your dry erase pocket or board if you have one, and then a dry erase marker. Okay? If you need to pause while you go get those things, pause the video and then push play when you have your stuff ready. Today, we are going to be able to use the properties of multiplication and familiar facts to help us solve harder multiplication facts. Okay? Now, before we get started, we're going to do some sprint work and some fluency work. So today, like you did yesterday, we are going to practice skip counting by threes. Okay? And the more we do this, the easier it becomes. And this would be a good thing for you to practice while you're in the car going somewhere, real quick while you're walking up and down your stairs to get to your room, because it doesn't take you very long, okay? And today I'm going to keep writing them down, and then probably tomorrow we're going to start leaving out some facts to help us start to memorize and remember which facts come next, okay? So remember, when we skip count, we want to start with 0, and then it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. All right, let's do it one more time going up. 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. We're going to go backwards now. 30, 27, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, 0. Now remember, you can always pause the video and you can write these down to help you keep practicing them. And remember, on Friday, you're going to have a little quiz on these skip counting threes facts, and if you know your threes facts, okay? All right. I need you to get your fluency book, and if you will turn, please, to page 71. Page 71 in your fluency book, and it will look like this. Now remember, with our sprints, you'll have 1 minute to complete as much as you can, and we would like for you to just do them in order. Don't skip around. Go through in order, and then after the minute is up, then we will check them together, and then we'll do the next one, and we'll talk about that one in a second. Okay? Here we go. Ready? Go. Almost done. Keep going. 15 more seconds. All right, good job. All right, here we go. So, be ready to check. Now, I'm just going to give the answer straight down the row, so be sure you keep up. If you need to pause it and catch up, do that. Here we go. 4, 6, 6, 8, 8, 10, 10, 12, 12, 14, 14, 16, 16, 18, 18, 20, 20, 15, 15, 20, 20, 25. All right, here we go. Top of the next column. 30, 30, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45, 45, 50, 50, 9, 12, 12, 18, 18, 21, 21, 24, 24, 27, 27, 16. All right. Now, I want you to count up how many you got correct. So how many of them did you put a check mark next to? And make sure you're being honest with yourself, because you are just competing with yourself. You're not competing with anybody else. So count up how many you got correct, and put that number up here at the top where it says number correct. And then I want you to flip over your page to page 73. It's the very next page in your fluency book. And this time, we're going to do this sprint again for 1 minute. And this time, your goal is to beat yourself. So your goal is to get more correct than you did last time. Okay? Remember, you have 1 minute. All right, get your pencils ready. Ready, go. Got about 20 more seconds. Keep going. Keep skip counting. You've got to keep going. 5 more seconds. All right. Pencils down. All right, here we go. Be ready to check. Remember, put a check mark next to the ones you got correct. Skip it or put an X if you do not get it correct. Here we go. Starting at the top of the first column with number 1. And remember, I'm just going to say the answers and go straight down. 10, 10, 15, 15, 20, 20, 25, 30, 30, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45, 45, 50, 50, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8. All right, so that's the end of that first column. Top of the next column. If you got that far, here we go. 12, 12, 14, 14, 16, 16, 18, 18, 20, 20, 9, 12, 12, 18, 18, 21, 21, 24, 24, 27, 27, 16. All right, again, count up how many check marks you got correct on this one, on this side, and then put it up at the top corner where it says number correct. And then I want you to find the difference between the two. How many more did you get correct this time than last time? And you're going to put that in the improvement. Maybe it's +1. Maybe you got 1 more correct than you did last time. Or maybe you got 5 more correct. So then at improvement, you would put +5. Okay? Awesome. All right, once you've got that done, you can put your fluency book away. And I need you to get your Learn book. Get your Learn book out. Remember, it's your new one. It's a new one that says modules 3 and 4. So one that hopefully your parents were able to pick up last week. And I need you to turn to page 9. If you will turn to page 9, please, in your Learn book. And we're going to work on this application problem. All right, so remember, if you still need to go get that book, you can pause the video and then play it when you come back. All right, so this one says, Jocelyn says 7 5s has the same answer as 3 7s plus 2 7s. Is she correct? Explain why or why not. So I want you to pause the video for a second, and I want you to try to answer this question. And then when you're done, press play and we can go over it together. All right, great job. Here we go. So we would say that Jocelyn is correct. So we want to make sure we write in a sentence, Jocelyn is correct. And now we're going to explain why, because that's the second part of our sentence. Our question, it says explain why or why not. So we know that 3 sevens plus 2 sevens equals 5 sevens. Because remember, in this case, our unit is sevens and sevens, which is why we can add it. So we just add the 3 and the 2, and 3 plus 2 is 5, and we're still working with sevens. So yeah, it would be 5 sevens. And we can use the commutative property to know that 5 sevens is equal to 7 fives. So we could write that as 5 sevens is equal to 7 fives. And we know this is true because of the commutative property. And if we wrote this out in numbers, this side would be like 5 times 7 is equal to 7 times 5. And no matter which way we have this fact or these numbers written, they both equal 35. Whether it's 5 sevens or 7 fives, it's 35. Okay? Very good job. All right, here we go. So now, if you will, get your dry erase board and your marker. Maybe you're using a dry erase pocket. Either one is fine. And on this pocket or your board, and I think I'm actually going to turn mine long ways to give me a little bit more space. You might want to do that with yours. And I'm going to draw one circle, and in that circle I'm going to put a 7. I want you to do that too, and draw kind of over to the side because we've got some more stuff to draw on this side. So, this circle represents 1 unit of 7. Now, I'm going to keep drawing circles across my board and up. And as I do that, we're going to count the 7s together. Okay, so this would be 1 7. Now I've got 2 units of 7. So this would be, 2 7s. I'm going to keep going. So this time draw 3 circles and put 7 in them. And now I have 3 units of 7, or 3 7s. Let's keep going. The next one, I'm going to do 4 units of 7. Do that on your board. 4 circles up, put 7 in each circle. Now I have 4 units of 7, which is 4 7s. And then I'm going to do another one. You got it. We're going to put 5 in this one. So we're going to do 5 units of 7. 5 7s. And I want you to whisper to yourself, what is the multiplication fact for 5 7s? Yes, be 5 times 7. Now what is the commutative property or the commutative fact for this? 5 times 7. Yes, the related fact is 7 times 5. So what are 5 7s, 5 times 7, and 7 times 5 all equal to? Yes, 35. No matter which way we say it, it is all 35. So this time, we're going to use our familiar 5s facts, like these 5 7s here, to find facts that we haven't yet learned. Okay? Now, at the top of your 7 units of, or 5 units of 7, I want you to draw one more circle, and in between that group of 5 and that new circle, I want you to kind of put a dotted line so we can kind of see our difference here. And we're going to put another 7 in there. So now I've got this group of 5 7s and then one more 7. So what is 5 7s plus 1 7? Yes, 6 7s. Now, we already know that 5 7s is the same as 35, right? But now we can't say that this column is just 35. It's now 35 plus 1 more 7. Right? Now, we grouped our 5 7s here, which equaled our 35, and we added that 1 more 7 that we just put at the top of our dotted line. So now, this total, if we added those together, it would show the answer of 6 sevens. What is the total of 6 sevens? Yes, great job, 42. Okay? Now let's write the multiplication fact that matches these 6 sevens, or 5 sevens plus 1 7. Yes, it would be 6 times 7. Use a commutative property to write the related fact. Yes, 7 times 6. Great job. So, what is the difference between our 5 times 7 and 6 times 7? So remember, a few minutes ago we did 5 sevens, and now we just did 6 sevens. What is the difference between those two facts? Yes, it has one more group of sevens. We just added one more unit of sevens to the top. Good job. So by noticing that 6 times 7 is only one more group of 7 than 5 times 7, we use the total of 5 times 7, which is our 35, to help us make an easy addition problem to help us find 6 times 7. All right, let's do a little bit more practice. So erase your dry erase board, or if you're using a piece of paper, find a new spot on a piece of paper. You might have to turn it over. All right, this time we're going to do units of 9. Okay, so instead of putting 7 in our circles, we're going to do 9s in our circles. Okay, so let's draw a picture like we just did for 5 times 7, but this time let's do 5 times 9. Okay, so let's draw 5 circles. These are going to show our 5 groups. And instead of putting 7 in them, we're going to put 9, because we're doing 5 times 9. So 5 units of 9. And let's write the multiplication problem to go with 5 times 9. Write that on your board. Yep. So you should write 5 times 9. What is a commutative property of 5 times 9? What is a commutative related fact? Yes, 9 times 5. And no matter which way those are written, what is the product of that multiplication equation? Yes, good job skip counting. 45. So no matter which way we write it, they're both equal to 45. Good. All right, now, I want you to remember that number 45, but let's erase these equations so we don't get confused. Keep your circles, or your 5 units of 9, there. And let's draw that dotted line again above our 5 groups. And let's add one more unit of 9. So at the top, let's add a 9, or circle, and put a 9 in it. So now, how many groups of 9 do we have now? Yes, we have 6. 6 groups of 9. So, let's write the multiplication equation off to the side. We just said we had 6 groups of 9, so it's 6 times 9. Write the related fact to that also underneath of it. Yes, good. Using the commutative property, 9 times 6. Good job. Now, we just talked about how we could use our knowledge of 5 times 9, or 5 times 7 in the problem before, to help us solve this new problem using 6s. So let's think. These 5 9s were what? What was the product of that 5 9s? Yes, 45. And then what did we do above the dotted line? Yes, we added one more group of 9. So let's make that addition problem, 45 plus one more set of 9, and let's solve for that. Go ahead and find the answer to that. Find that sum. Yep, good job, it's 54. So that tells us that 6 times 9 and 9 times 6 are equal to 54. Because we used that familiar fact of 5 times 9 and added that one more group of 9 to find that new product. Great job. All right, let's do one more. So erase those equations. And if you want, you can just erase those 9s in the middle. Erase those 9s in the middle there. Or if you need to redraw them, you can redraw them, no problem. All right, in those first 5 circles, let's put a 6. Let's make 5 groups of 6. And then I want you to think to yourself, what is 5 groups of 6 equal to? Well, remember, that's our multiplication problem of 5 times 6, or the commutative property of 6 times 5, those related facts. What are both of those equal to? Yep, you got it, 30. Great skip counting. We're going to do 5, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Good job. All right, and now let's add one more set of 6, one more unit of 6. So put a 6 in that top circle above our dotted line. So again, we already know that 5 times 6 is 30. Write the addition problem, and that would now represent our 6 groups of 6. Yes, we would take our 5 groups of 6 and add one more set of 6 to it. Yep, and when we add that, we get 36. Good job. So that tells us that 6 times 6, or 6 groups of 6, equals 36. Great job. All right, so you can erase your dry erase board, and that you're going to need your Learn book again. We're going to do some work in our problem set together now. So if you'll turn back in your Learn book to page 11. Excuse me, and pause the video if you need to get settled again. But page 11, number 1. We're going to do the first part together, and then you're going to do the bottom part. So it says each block has a value of 7. Okay? So it says unit form. That was like what we were just talking about with our circles. We would say 5, and what to each of those equal? Now if it helps, let me tell you a secret, if it helps, put that number inside those blocks. It said each block has a value of 7, so this block has 7, this is 7, this is 7, this is 7, and this is 7. So how many 7s did we have? Yeah, we had 5 7s. So on this line, we're going to write 7s. And now we're going to write the facts that represent this picture and matches this unit form of the equation. So 5 7s is the same as 5 times 7, which is equal to 7 times 5. And now we need to find the product of those equations. And we're going to skip count to help us figure those out. And yes, it will equal 35. Good job. Okay, so now I want you to pause the video, and I want you to complete the second part of number 1, thinking through it just like we did here and in our work together. And then once you've solved it, press play again, and we'll check it together. All right. Good job. So now that you're back, for this picture, we see that there's these blocks of 7, and one above is colored a little different. So kind of like what we did with our dotted line. And just like the directions at the top said each block has a value of 7, these still have a value of 7. So I'm going to put a 7 in each of those boxes to help me remember. All right, so now we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7s, which is the same as 5 7s plus 1 7. So we have our 5 dark colored blocks plus our light colored block. And then it says 35 plus. So we solve for the 5 7s. And then plus, what's the value of 1 7? Yeah, it's just one block of 7, so it's just 7. And now we can add those two together, and we get 42. So now we need to write the 2 multiplication facts that match this picture. So again, we start out with how many blocks? Yep, 6. And what's in each of those blocks? 7. Good job. And 6 times 7, just like we solved above, is 42. So now let's write the related fact that goes with these factors. Yes, we were just flipping around. 7 times 6, and again, it still equals 42. Good job. All right, so let's move on to problem number 3. Yes, we are skipping number 2. If you want to do number 2 on your own, that is completely fine. All right, so let's move on. Number 3. Let's read this together. An author writes 9 pages of her book each week. How many pages does she write in 7 weeks? Use a 5's fact to solve. All right, so when we solve word problems, we want to make sure we take notice of the numbers and nouns. And we started talking about this in some of our small groups last week. But I'm going to find the number, and then I'm going to circle the word that explains what that number is. So I don't want to just circle 9. I want to know 9 what. So in this case, I'm going to circle 9 pages of her book each week. It's important to know about each week. Okay? Then, and then I also see 7. Well, 7 what? Oh, yep, 7 weeks. So I'm going to circle 7 weeks. So make sure you're doing this with me. Let me zoom in a smidge more. There we go. And then our question, we always want to underline our question. It says, how many pages does she write in 7 weeks? Now, we want to make sure we draw a picture of something because we read it. Now we need to draw something to help us solve it, whether it's a tape diagram, whether it's circles to represent our units, just like we did a few minutes ago. Okay? Now, this one, I'm going to draw a tape diagram. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my tape drawn. You draw yours. And then I want you to pause the video, and I want you to see if you can figure out how to label this tape diagram on your own, thinking about the 9 pages. She's writing 9 pages of her book each week. And we're having to find how many pages does she write in 7 weeks. All right, so let's keep going. Check your work with mine to see if we got the same thing, okay? All right, so let's see, I'm thinking, do I know the total? The total of what? The total of pages? No, I don't know that because that's what it's asking me. So that means I'm going to put a question mark above my tape diagram because that's what I'm trying to find. And remember, I'm marking it from the beginning of my tape diagram to the end of my tape diagram to tell me that this whole thing represents the total. Okay? Now it says she's doing 9 pages of her book each week. Now I like to think of weeks as kind of a group because a week is a group of days, right? So my groups are now what I'm using for weeks. So I'm going to split my tape diagram up to represent all the weeks because that's what I'm trying to find in 7 weeks. So let's split this tape diagram up into 7 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I have 7 parts. Now, let's go back to our question and let's use our question to help us finish labeling our tape diagram. It says an author writes 7 pages of her book each week. So in this 1 week, I'm going to draw an arrow to it. So week 1, how many pages did she write? Yes, 9. So we're going to put a 9 in that box. So she did that for this week. What did she do for week 2? Yeah, 9. Well, she did that for week 1 and week 2. What did she do for week 3? Yes. And I'm going to keep going because she's going to do the same thing for each week because that's what it says in our problem. Each week. Very good. All right, so now the problem asks us to use a 5's fact to solve, kind of like what we just did. So let's block off 5 of these 9s. So I'm going to go from here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's our 5 weeks. And I'm going to label this our 5 times 9. And then how many 9s do I have left over? Yeah, let's block these off. And let's label this. Yeah, I have 2 9s left. So that would be the same as 2 times 9. And now we need to solve for both. So what is 5 times 9? Yes! Good job. Good remembering your fives. 45. And then 2 times 9. Let's skip count by 2s 9 times. I mean, if you can skip count by 9s, do that. Or remember, multiplication is the same as repeated addition, so we could just add 9 plus 9. Yes, that's 18. So now, remember, we're looking for the total of the whole tape diagram. So we found one part, we found this part, so what do we need to do with both those parts? Yep, we need to add those up. So I'm going to come over here and do 45 plus 18, and I'm going to write that vertically, because it's better for me to add vertically than horizontally across. So 8 plus 5 is 13. I'm going to regroup my 1. So 4, 5, 6. I got 63. Did you get 63? Yes, so let's write the multiplication equation too. So again, we had 7 weeks times 9 pages of each week, and 7 times 9 is 63. And remember, we need to write a sentence to solve. So we could say, they write 63 pages in 7 weeks. Awesome. All right. Let's look at number 4. If you need to pause the video to get caught up, do that. All right, I'm going to scooch my page up. All right, we're going to read this, and then I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try to solve this problem, and then come back and check it with mine. Here we go. Mrs. Gonzalez buys a total of 32 crayons for her classroom. Each pack contains 8 crayons. How many packs of crayons does Mrs. Gonzalez buy? All right, so as we read it the second time, we're going to underline and circle our numbers with our nouns. So Mrs. Gonzalez buys a total of 32 crayons for her classroom. Oh, there's a number, 32. Now remember, I don't want to just do 32. I want to do 32 crayons. And I don't know about you, but I noticed that word total. So that tells my brain, hey, I already know the total for this one. All right, let's keep going. Each pack contains 8 crayons. Okay. Oh, I got an 8. So I'm going to be circling 8. Well, 8 what? Yes, 8 crayons. So make sure you circle that number and your noun. And then I'm going to kind of circle this each pack, because I think about crayons, yeah, they come in those yellow boxes, the pack of crayons, right? So that makes me think, all right, a pack is a group of crayons, okay? And then we need to underline our question. How many packs of crayons does Miss Gonzalez buy? Oh, so I don't know the number of groups. Remember, let's draw and set up our tape diagram first, and then solve. Good. All right, so let's check your work with mine. So I've got my tape diagram, and now I'm going to go back to my problem. Mrs. Gonzalez buys a total of 32 crayons. Okay, so I'm going to put my 32 here, because it says it's total of 32 crayons, and then each pack contains 8 crayons. How many packs of crayons does Miss Gonzalez buy? Now, I'm using my schema, my background knowledge here. Pack of crayons. I know my pack of crayons is like a box of crayons, and it has all my crayons inside of it, right? So my pack of crayons is like my group or my pile of crayons. So I know that in this one pack, there's 8 crayons. So I'm going to partition my tape diagram into one part and put an 8 there, and I'm going to label this underneath as 1 pack. But now I don't know how many packs are going to equal my 32. So I might put a question mark here. I don't know how many more packs I need to split that tape diagram into. I have no idea. So I could write my equation as 8 crayons times well, I don't know how many packs, so I'm going to label it as P equals 32 crayons. So now I need to solve for that. So to solve for this, I could continue my skip counting and fill in parts on my tape diagram to get to 32. So let's do that. So 8, and I'm going to keep partitioning and adding 8 more, and I'm going to skip count. Okay, so 8, and then another pack of 8. So let's think, what's 8 plus 8? Yep, that's 16. So I'm actually going to put a little 16 underneath there so I can keep track of what I'm counting. Well, my 16 still didn't give me a total of 32. So let's partition again. Another pack of 8 crayons. So now I'm going to take my total plus another 8. 16 plus 8. Yep, that's 24. So I'm going to put my 24 underneath there. Still not to my total of 32. So let's make another pack and label it with an 8. So it's 24 plus 8. Yeah. Oh, there's my 32. Yes. All right, so I don't need this last spot, so let's erase that because I don't want to have extra space in my tape diagram. So now I've got my total of 32 crayons. Well, how many packs were we able to make? Yes, we have 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack, 8 pack, 4 packs, sorry. And each one of my packs has 8 crayons in it. So yes, so we can say that P equals 4. And 8 times 4 equals 32. Good, so let's write our sentence. So our question was, how many packs of crayons does Mrs. Gonzalez buy? We could say, she bought 4 packs of crayons. Awesome job. All right, so now, remember, you can pause the video if you need to get caught up. All right, so now that we've finished our problem set, and again, if you want to go back and finish the other problems that we haven't done, you are welcome to do that for some extra practice. But do not forget to go back in and complete your exit ticket for today, which was on page 15. Then take a picture of it and make sure you submit it to our Canvas page. You upload it to our Canvas page. And then also on your Canvas page, there's one question you'll need to go in and answer. Once you answer that question, if you get that question right, you are awesome. Great job listening and paying attention and working through our lesson today. And if you get that question right, you do not need to attend this afternoon's math lesson or math review group. If you don't get that question right, please go to your live lesson or live instructions time page on Canvas and click on math. And that will take you to the math group for the day, where you will be going over more problems just like what we just did with the problem set, and you're going to be using your Succeed book for some more practice. So hopefully we'll see you this afternoon, and if you have questions, let us know.